hasn't won a national championship,
Mhm.
right? That's not to say he can't go out there and win it at Ole Miss, but he hasn't won a national championship. There's only X amount of coaches coaching right now that have, right? There's only a handful,
It's
right?
like
So like,
3 or
can you
yeah.
get the same type of production, the same level of success, whatever that may be, or potential level of success, we really don't know till you hire him, with someone else, whether that's a Musselman, Tang, whoever.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
So-
Like that's what you have to weigh.
And overall, those names, Musselman, Tang, Beard, those I'm happy. Either one of them, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But I guess my question is, Ethan Moore always asks me this question every time. Do you think you're going to win a national championship? Can that coach win a national championship here? Like, can Musselman win a championship here? Can Tang win a championship here? I don't really know. Like with Beard, I feel he's gotten to the championship before. I feel like it can happen.
Tech.
You know,
with Texas Tech. I mean,
exactly.
it's impressive. It's impressive. Can't act like it ain't.
Yeah. So that's my issue. Is I know the rest of the list is probably going to be a lot of guys that I say I don't know about. But
yeah,
if you have a guy who feels somewhat like a sure thing about winning, that's hard for me to say no to.
Yeah, it's understandable. I mean, it's
understandable. And that's what we talked about before you joined, Jeff. Like, a part of me is of the belief it's like, you're not going to change the perception of everything, and the brand, the damage, the brand equity is already, as somebody pointed out, who's that Becky said, it's already really damaged. We need to win. I understand that. So then it becomes the discussion. It's like, okay, if it's like what Nick said, it said optically, like people, when you go outside this fishbowl in this market in this state, how the program's viewed. Okay, if you hire, and this is, again, it's not zero to Chris Beard, it could be Will Wade, it could be anybody else, Kelvin Sampson that brought up with the baggage, you're not going to change the perception of how the masses view you. I'm sorry, you're just not. Like, the damage is done for probably better part of the next 20 to 30 years. Like, if just think about, like, I know, Jeff, you talk about USC and everything, like how you have some fan of Reggie Bush. Like,
yes,
it's still brought up some of the stuff that everything now is legal. It's still brought up of everything that transpired with that. Like, I'm sorry, it's like that's just going to always be there, and it sucks. But you can lean into it like the U. And again, I cannot reset this enough. This is not about Chris Beard. It's about anybody with baggage on that, because obviously in a perfect world, I'd love Kelvin Sampson, as I said multiple times. But I don't think that's going to happen. So, but all I ask, and we've said this before you joined, Jeff, and I'd love to hear your opinion about it, but just if Josh Hurt, I just hope he doesn't listen to anybody, any outside news. Like, I don't want former players. I don't want him to listen to sports talk radio. I know that's terrible for us, unless it's ESPN Louisville Plus. He can listen to us. But to not listen to anybody and just make his own hire. He goes to the search firm. It was like, we think this is going to be a sure thing. Like, I heard Ennis say, Josh Schertz from Indiana State, a non-sexy name. Do I think that's too big of a leap for him? Probably. But again, college basketball and college football, much different, but kind of a Kellen DeBoer situation too, where he's won everywhere he's been. And if it's a non-sexy name, Josh Hurd lives with it. It's a career decision for him because he can't hide behind the interim. And that's where it's like, it's got to be his hire, and whatever the search firm and basketball people in his inner circle, not former players, not any donors or sports talk radio. That's what needs to be his kind of driving force on this next hire, because let's be honest, it looks like you're in about, 12 more games of this, and it looks like they are moving on.
Yeah, just to your point, Phil, I think this will have a lot more of Josh's vision for whatever, because
we
this
tried
is
it
the
your
biggest
way.
hire.
We're